These are once potters were set up. You know, they'd make their own pottery. This is later 1700s, early 1800s. This goes right into the 20th century, though. I mean, you know, there's only so much variation in pottery. This is a Civil War mini ball. This came out of the Civil War feature. Those are pretty common. But another one of those things you find you get kind of excited about. Our buddy Neil, who's our well guy, it
sounds like Neil's the only one on the crew.
Yeah, I know, but Neil is doing the work.
Poor Neil here.
Yeah. Well, Neil has a tremendous interest in Civil War.
Yes.
We have yet to let him take a Civil War feature. He has been in the well the entire time. This is these are over from what we're calling the courthouse, and these are just brass furniture tacks. You know,
which again indicates something substantial.
Yeah. There's you know, although it's an early little town, they do have furniture. You know, just
and they eat well and drink well.
Yep, they're going about their lives. And one of the
that too I forgot about, and they like to smoke the pipes.
One of the least attractive, but one of my favorite artifacts is this is made of local river gravel. It's a chert, and it is a early homemade gunflint. The piece it's broken. Well, you can take a look at the physical characteristics.
He's an expert on gunflints.
Well,
he's the gunflint expert.
You usually find, typically gunflints are imported either from Britain or France, and they're real easy to discern. It was one of the first things I learned when I was a kid archaeologist, the difference between a British and a French gunflint. This, however, is battered on this edge. It's made out of chert, which is basically flint. It's, you know, it's from this continent though. It would have sat in a carriage. The back has been broken off. It would have been carriage like this in a mechanism that would have struck down, hit a piece of steel or a piece of iron, and caused a spark that set off the weapon. So that's likely
that would be a pre-Civil War.
Yeah, this is likely. I mean, this is likely Warwick town. This is a common late 16, early 1700 technology. So that was a fun one to find. Another fun one to find. This is not Warwick town. This is out of the Civil War that we got the whole bottle and a lot of the barbecue. It's a domino. You know, the fellows were drinking and playing dominoes, and I'm sure writing letters to home on a regular basis.
And everybody's trying to get assigned here.
That's right.
Figured out what the domino is made out of?
We think it's bone. We're going to wait to get, you know, we'll take it back to the lab. It's typical to have dominoes made out of bone, but this has little rivets on the back that the other part of the domino, you know, the other half would have fit on there. But so that's a Civil War recreational piece. And then we have the, dang, what is that called? You know, anyone who can come up with what this is. This is from over in the area of the courthouse. It wasn't found in any of the features. It was found in the back dirt when we were stripping.
Big thumbtack.
It's like a big thumbtack.
Looks like a clothes hanger.
Could be.
In the wall and
Wrap stringer.
Could very well be. That's not a bad idea. It's not battered on the top though, because it's not nailed. It is. There's like a machining here, so where it was pulled out, like maybe a plier grabbed it. But
so you just shove it in the wall or whatever.
We will see. But
I think Ken's not going to believe anybody though.
no. Well, I mean,
He's already made up his mind.
If we cannot find the expert who knows what this is, it is, and when it makes the report, this is a corn on the cob.
Oh.
You know,
I kept thinking I've seen something like that before.
I'll be writing a long story about the relations between the Native Americans and the corn. So that is definitely corn on the cob.
It also looks like one of those stick things that you
Yeah. But
It's got that long stick.
so I think and stuff.
It looks like a push pin.
Stuff that we do not intend to find. In the same way that the Civil War folks were on top of on top of Warwick Town. Warwick town was on top of a Native American site. This is badly eroded Native American pottery. This came out of the well, so it was on the soil outside of the well and just washed in. You know, every once in a while when there was a, whenever there was a big rain like we just had. And this is a Native American point. However, all of this stuff is about 2,500 years old. This has nothing to do with anyone, you know. No one who had anything to do with these artifacts had anything to do with the people of Warwick Town, other that they inhabited the same landform. It would be pre-Arrow. It's probably right about at the dawn of Arrow. It's like 2,500 years old. So typically, what people call everything that's arrowheads, it's largely projectiles from more like spears. The bow and arrow is a late development.
We're losing artifacts.
And like I said, I accidentally found, you know, as I was wandering around looking at the back dirt, I found a tiny piece of a Clovis point, which is 14,000 years old. Wow. So we have everything from mastodon eaters to Coca-Cola.
All in one spot.
All in one
really
spot.
Mind-blowing.
So, but
that's why it was so hard to just focus on Warwick Town. I mean, as much as we want to, we absolutely want to, we'd love to be able to do the whole area.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But there's plenty. We are several of the questions we get. What's going to happen to the property? Have no idea. There is plenty more archaeology out here, though. We are not taking it all up. Even the stuff, a lot of the stuff that we know we'll leave in place. You know, like Claire said.
Everything is mapped.
Yep, Claire, Aaron, our city archaeologist, is salivating over coming out. You know, he'll have somewhere to go. Every time he wants to get out of the office, he'll say, you know, I gotta go down, gotta do some
Of course, I do
town.
that too. So.
Yeah. So, but that's where we stand. That's what we've been doing since July.
Are there any questions?
Anyone?